Good afternoon, everyone. This is Leah Dixon in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am going live this afternoon. This would normally be my Tuesday morning 9 a.m. live, but today was the last day of school, so I went into work to say goodbye to my students. And so, yeah, I wasn't able to get on live this morning like usual. Sorry, I'm just getting a message here that I might experience poor video quality. Try closing any unused applications or browser tabs. All right, I will do that. That is really unusual. All right, I had that come up this morning as well. All right, I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, well, hopefully the video is good on your end. I'm going to pop a little comment in here. So if you're watching and able to see this, maybe you're able to say hi. Oh, there we go. Hi, Val. Nice to see you. All right, so hopefully the video is actually going okay on your end. It's coming up with all sorts of warnings on my end. Strange. Okay, so what I want to do today is actually a 3-in-1 or 1-in-3. I'm not sure how you want to do that. I have kind of a sketch that I've been playing with, and we're going to kind of walk through like a very minimal supplies version of stamping and then kind of progressively make the card a little bit more challenging. So what I'm going to do is switch my screen over to my desktop, and we're going to get started stamping. So I am using the Sweet Strawberry Bundle today. This is a stamp set, and let's see if we can get this angled so you can see it, and a punch. Well, actually here, if I flip it over, that's better. There we go. So we've got our strawberry punch with the strawberry top, the flowers, and then some extra leaves. And so we're going to be using that punch today for our stamping. I hope you guys are being able to beat the heat. I've been able to actually harvest some lovely strawberries this week. They are loving this heat, and luckily have the pool and some AC inside to kind of combat things. All right, so for our very first card, we're going to keep this really, really simple. I've got a thick basic white base, and then I have 3 pieces of basic white cardstock. This one's cut just a little bit smaller than our card base, so it's cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then these 2 little scraps are just, I made sure that they're 2 inches wide, and aside from that, doesn't really matter too much, the size of them. All right, so to do our stamping today, the strawberry is a really fun stamp to use, but you do need to do like some masking and stuff if you're not going to use the punch. So we are going to use the punch today. I have got like a little template that I use, and I can use this for mounting all of the stamps onto a block if I want to stamp them all in a black outline. I can use this for mounting them onto my Stamparatus, or I can just use it as a stencil directly over top of my cardstock for stamping so that I get them positioned in the best way possible so that I don't lose too much of my cardstock. So you can see here my strawberry will be on here, my topper will be here, and then I'm just going to lose a little bit to those leaves and flowers that I'm not using. All right, so the 2 colors that I am using for today's card are Poppy Parade and Granny Apple Green. I'm going to start with my Poppy Parade. And I probably shouldn't put it down on top of my basic white, but I am. I'm going to grab the strawberry outline and stamp it full strength in Poppy Parade, and then line this up over top of the template and stamp inside that template. I'm not going to move that template. And I'm going to grab my green, and again the outline stamp, not the solid stamp. And I'm going to have to hopefully not get my hair in the shot. And there we go. So I stamped that inside the template. Now, if that's you know, challenging for you to line it up through the template, then just stamp them wherever and just know that as you punch them out, you are going to lose some cardstock. And so I do it this way so that that doesn't happen. All right, so then I'm going to ink up my strawberry, and I've got a scrap piece right in front of me. I'm going to stamp it off onto my scrap once, and then over top of my strawberry for the second go. When I do my leaf topper, though, I'm just going to do it full strength. There we go. All right, so for the card that we're creating today, I'm actually going to do that twice. So I'm going to bring in my template one more time. Let's see, try and get it over to the side. There we go. Grab my outline of my strawberry. And line that up. It is nice because these are photopolymer, so you can see through them, which makes it fairly easy to line them up inside the space. And I didn't use a very dark template, but the darker the template, the easier it is to line those up as well. Now this template, I actually just keep inside my stamp case. I have a little clear envelope here where I keep extra pieces that I've done and extra bits for stamping. So that's all just inside my stamp case. All right, let's finish stamping these. So now I've got to get that green, and the green's going on here full strength. And then my red, Happy Parade. So I'm going to stamp that off on my scrap right in front of me. Oops, that didn't work out well. There we go, stamp that off on my scrap. And then over top of my strawberry. There we go. All right, so that is the beginnings of our stamping done. I'm going to put away our green and our red for right now. Put those off to the side. And now we're going to use our punch. So you'll notice I cut these a little bit big, and that's because that gives me something to hold on to on the side. So I'm going to come in here and line these up now. They don't have to be perfect. And give that a squeeze, and then we can put that to the side to stamp something else small on it. All right, and we'll do our next one. So line it up, making sure both the leaf and the strawberry are lined up, which they should be because we used our template. And then give that a squeeze, get rid of our extra bits. All right, so now before I actually glue these bits together, I don't like how when I put this leaf on the top, there's all that white in there. So although we have punched it out, I then come in and just on the bits that are going to actually be on top of the strawberry, I don't want to have that white line between my green and my red. I don't mind having an outline around my shapes, but I don't like it on top of my shapes. So I'm coming in here with some snips and just trimming up that section. So it's just the underside. You don't even have to do the top side of the leaves or the stem, because that's going to kind of complement the outline on our strawberry as well. And we're putting this on a white background, so then it doesn't matter. So I don't know, I just like that look a lot more. So we're going to do that to both. And there we go. Oh, hi, Mary. I'm just going to stop for a second. And I see my comments aren't scrolling down on their own. So there we go. All right. So basically, we're just going to continue cutting those. And you don't have to be super careful. There we go. So I'm very excited. It is almost the end of the school year. I have one more day at work tomorrow, but it's just an admin day doing cleaning around the school. But we are finally ready to start summer vacation. It will be nice. Okay, so with those all trimmed up, you have a few options. You can grab some mini glue dots to attach those, or you can use some liquid glue. Liquid glue just means you have to wait a few minutes before it's totally set. Either way, you're going to put your dot of glue right in the center of all of the leaves in the stem, whether you're using liquid glue or mini glue dots. So there we go. And then we just peel that backing off. If you're using liquid glue, put the dot there. Then we're going to put our leaves down so that they're just at the top of our strawberry, and you'll just want to hold it in place if you're using liquid glue, just so that that can set. Okay. And when you put these down, you want to make sure that you can't see the top of the strawberry sticking out from behind. All right, so we've got our 2 strawberries all stamped. We're going to put those off to the side now. And I was talking about how I had a sketch design. So the sketch design was basically have something here, have an image here, an image here, and a sentiment here. So that's exactly what we're going to do. But we're going to we're not going to use any other paper or anything. We're just going to use stamps. So somewhere, there we go, I have a hello there sentiment. And I'm going to come in here and stamp my hello there in Memento Black. And so this is one of the sentiments that comes in this stamp set. There's hello there just for you. What is it? That was so sweet of you. And happy birthday, you sweet thing. So some really cute sentiments. So we've got that stamped. Now we're going to grab our Granny Apple Green again. And I'm going to grab the big leaf pattern and going to stamp it off and then stamp it up in this top corner. I'm going to do it all over again. So when I say stamping it off, I just have a scrap piece of paper right in front of me, and I'm stamping it once on the scrap piece of paper before I stamp onto my card front. Okay, and then I'm going to do a second one down there. So I've just got those 2 pieces of greenery going on. And now, before I do anything else to this, I'm actually going to take that same scrap that I've been, you can see all my messy stamping here. I'm going to take that same scrap that I've been using, I'm going to lay it down over top of the card so it's covering up that area. And then actually, I'm just going to go into my recycling bin here and grab a second piece of scrap paper just to cover up my sentiment. I know, we're covering up most of the card. You're like, what is she doing? I'm going to grab a third color. So I'm grabbing Bermuda Bay. I'm going to squeeze my ink pad so that I get some ink on the top there. And then I'm grabbing, where did it go? Apparently I put down my water painter somewhere very safe so I wouldn't lose it. Now I have no idea where it is. That's strange. Oh, I put it in upside down. That's why I couldn't see it. All right, so I've just got a water painter. If you don't have a water painter, you can do this with a bowl of water and a paintbrush. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of water out of my water painter onto the lid here to mix that up and make some fun watercolors. And then, maybe I'll move this out of the way so I don't get it inky. I'm going to tap my water painter on, oh, I don't have enough water. Okay, there we go, get that watery. There. I'm going to tap my water painter on there and splatter that. And then I am going to let that, oh, there was a big splatter there. I'm just going to turn this a little bit so that it's covering up those words, and I'm going to splatter a bit more down low below my words. Okay, so to clean up your water painter, you can either take it to your sink and run it under water, or you can just squeeze it till it runs clear here on a piece of Kleenex. Okay, and then normally I would also use my Kleenex to wipe up that water, but I'm going to be using this again on one of our future cards. So instead, I'm actually just going to set it off to the side instead of doing a full cleanup, just because I know that I'm going to be using it again in a minute. All right, so now I can move away my scraps. And you can see we've got a nice fun little splatter on there, just to kind of add some visual interest to our card. Okay, last job for this card is to actually attach our strawberries. And now, because I'm going with simple stamping, I'm going to assume that people don't have dimensionals and stuff. Oh, actually, I'm missing some. I'm going to come in here and do some more splatter. So I'm going to come in this way and cover that, and just do like that and cover that. I'm going to give it another quick splatter. I just feel like I need a little bit more there. All right. Okay, hopefully that didn't, oh yeah, that worked. All right, maybe just a tiny bit up there. So I'm a little bit messy sometimes in my studio. There's paint spraying everywhere. There we go, that's better. I like that look more. All right. So with that done and paint splattered everywhere, I am now going to attach these strawberries. So because I'm doing simple stamping, I am just going to take some liquid glue, put it on the back of my strawberry, and pop it down like that. And then I'm going to do the same for my other strawberry, just a little squiggle on the back, and pop it down like that. Okay, and now we'll finish this card by taking this piece we were working with, and I do like to work with pieces when I'm beginning, you know, when somebody's a beginner stamper, because if you make a mistake, then it's a quarter of a piece of cardstock. It's no big deal. Recycle it, move on, save the bits you can save. All right, and now we're going to attach this to our card front, and you know, another reason to do this on a separate paper is because for some reason, even though it's white on white, that additional layer just kind of creates a more finished look to our card as well, as opposed to just stamping straight on a white background. And so there is our finished card. It is a super simple stamping. You know, we've used white cardstock and 4 inks and 1 stamp set, 1 bundle. So that was it. That's our simple stamping. Now, to kind of step this card up a notch, and, you know, change it up a bit, I'm not going to do any of the splatter on this card. I have already pre-stamped, although I forgot to trim my strawberries. And we're going to bring in some designer series paper instead of the watercolors. And so we're going to glue that down to fill in some space. So the designer series paper that I chose is the black and white, oh, it has a name, plaid, thank you, there we go. Black and white plaid from the Pattern Party Host DSP. And so it's just one of 24 designs, because there's actually 12 different two-sided papers in that pack. And so 12 of the designs are black and white, and on the other side of those papers are all the rainbow ones. So this is from our black and white side, and it's the buffalo plaid, and I just love it. All right, so I just trimmed those up. I'm going to grab my mini glue dots and attach those tops. Come on. Yeah, and while I'm doing this, because you guys have seen me do this, I'll just let you know that we've got 2 days left, you guys, in the last chance sale on our January to June mini catalog. So that's the one with like the adorable kangaroos and the lips and lipstick and the pretty perennials with that gorgeous happy sentiment. So we have literally 2 days, less than 2 days, tomorrow night at 11 p.m. it's all over. You cannot order from that catalog anymore. So if there's anything that you guys, like, I don't want you to miss out on anything and be like, oh, I wanted to grab whatever, and I don't want to have to tell you, oh, sorry, like, it's gone. So please take another spin through your mini catalog. And then I have a little ordering incentive happening just for today and tomorrow until this catalog's done. Anybody who places a $60 or more order with me, that's before shipping and taxes, will receive a package of Genial Gems in the mail from me as a thank you. So definitely want to check out that mini catalog. You can also still order from our brand new annual catalog. That's totally, actually, I'm going to move that over a bit. Ordering from our brand new annual catalog is also fine to earn those Genial Gems, but I just, take another quick peek through that catalog. I don't want you guys to miss out on anything. There's some great DSPs in there as well, and the snail mail and all of that. Okay, so that was not overly straight. Luckily used the liquid glue, so I'm able to kind of fiddle with it and make it a bit straighter. Oops, nope. Okay, well, luckily I'm putting a piece down over that. And I did get some glue there. If you're old school like me, then you have got a glue eraser. If you don't, then you can grab a white eraser, like one of those Statler white, like, architect erasers, and that will work as well. Okay, so with that part glued down, I have a piece, oh, and sorry, this was cut at 5 by 1 3/4. Now I have a piece of Pool Party cardstock here, and this is cut at 1 1/2 by 4 1/2. But before I glue that down, I'm actually going to grab my chamois here and clean up those leaves that we used before. Instead of stamping our leaves directly onto our card, we're going to stamp them onto that little Pool Party strip first. And we're going to do that, oh, everything's falling all over the place, oh my goodness. We're going to do that using Pool Party ink. So I'm going to grab that, ink that up, and just kind of twist this around so I get the most coverage of everything. There we go. And that one will come down like that, and then we'll pop back in here with a leaf to fill that space. All right, so we've filled that one in, stamping Pool Party on Pool Party. And now this piece is going to get glued down so that it, it's creating almost an equal border on the two sides. And we're just using liquid glue, nothing else, nothing fancy. All right. Here we go. Try and center it top to bottom and keep our borders kind of equal. Okay, so we've got that glued down. Now we are going to create a sentiment strip. Instead of stamping directly on our card, because we've now put all this stuff here, we're going to stamp our sentiment onto this strip of basic white that I have. And it's just 1 inch by, I don't know, like 3 inches. It was just kind of a random scrap that I found. And it just needs to be big enough for whatever sentiment you choose. So I'm going to use the happy birthday, you sweet thing. And pop that on there. And I'm going to kind of center it as best as I can, top to bottom, side to sides. And there we go. Now I do like to stamp up and down, like vertically like that. I find it's easier for me to line things up. Now you can use paper snips to trim up the end of this, or if you're like me, I love my tailored tag punch. So I'm going to come in here, line that up, and voila. That is how I'm going to do that one. All right, so I've got my sentiment here. And I'm going to put this one on now. This one I am going to attach with dimensionals. So let's grab a stack here. I just want a sticky one. Let's use that one. I already pulled the backing off of it. All right. So we'll grab that and put that on here, just like that. And finally, we're going to attach these strawberries, and we're going to attach them with dimensionals as well. So for this one, when I attach it with a dimensional, I'm going to make sure that that dimensional is all the way up in the corner. And then I'm going to put just a tiny dot of glue. Let's see, when I put this down, a tiny dot of glue right there, just to hold it on top of my sentiment strip as well. So do like that. Okay, come on, hold still. There we go. Oh, now did I? Yeah. Okay, the glue is just going to take a second to take hold. There we go. All right, and then this one just gets a dimension. Okay, and I'm going to overlap him so he's going over both layers. And that is our card. So it's just a little step up. We've added in some designer series paper and a second color of cardstock, but we've kept it to 4 inks and the basic white. So same kind of card, same kind of layout, just a little stepped up. And we're going to move on to our third and final really jazzed up card. Okay, so here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to start with that same basic white background again, except I'm going to emboss it with the brick and mortar embossing folder. So I'm not going to drag you guys all the way over to my Big Shot, and unfortunately it is so big I cannot use the mini boss over here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the front of my card, I'm going to bring it in and line up the fold of my card with the edge of where I see the brick and mortar. And then I'm going to run this through my, my big Stampin' emboss. Okay, so I do that with the base one, the embossing folder and paper, and then just plate 4, because this is one of the 3D embossing folders. So there you have it. We've got our gorgeous brick and mortar, and that is now the front of our card. All right, before I do anything, I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. I told you I was going to be using my my water painter again, and that's why I wasn't cleaning it up. So I'm going to bring back this. I'm going to add a bit more water to it. And this time I have nothing to cover up because I'm just actually like, oops, come on, splattering all over the place. Well, not really all over. I'm doing, you can see I'm doing like a diagonal here. It is kind of spraying off to the sides, but really I'm doing a diagonal. All right, so at this point, I'm not going to, because you guys are not going to want to wait on me to do all my cleaning, but I'm going to clean up my brush properly, and then I'm going to take my same Kleenex and just wipe that water out of the inside of my case. All right. If you didn't want to do it this way, you could also stamp down onto an acrylic block and add water that way. But I just, one less thing to clean. All right, so we've got our splatter across there. Now we're going to bring in the same designer series paper and the same pool party piece. So still 1 3/4 by 5, 1 1/2 by 4 1/2, except we're going to layer them up. So we're adding in some extra cardstock again. Got a black layer for my designer series paper and a Coastal Cabana layer for my pool party. So we're going to glue those together. There we go. So some liquid glue on the back there. And now my layer here is just cut 1/8 of an inch larger. So this is 5 1/8 by 1 7/8 for my black mat. And for my Coastal Cabana mat that's going behind my pool party. Oh no, that I forgot to stamp. Darn it. Oh well, we'll do it after. It's just 1/8 of an inch larger, so 4 7/8. No, that's not right. 4 5/8 by 1 5/8. Okay, so we forgot to stamp that one. Well, not we. I forgot to stamp that one. So we're going to do this and hope for the best. Hope that I don't get the ink all over the border, because the whole idea here is that our border shouldn't be stamped. So we're going to try really hard here to do this and not get our border stamped. Oh, lovely. So if you don't press too hard, you should be able to manage this. Or, you know, better yet, don't make mistakes like I made. Don't have to stamp and try not to get your border. All right, come in like that. And just a little piece up here. There we go. All right, excellent, worked. So let's put that down somewhere over there. Awesome. All right, so I still have this weird message about the too high, too low FPS, whatever that is. So hopefully things are fine on your end. So I've got these layered bits. Now we are going to glue these onto our card base again, and we're going to do the same kind of thing where we're trying to get kind of equal borders top to bottom, left to right, and we're going to glue those down. And again, we are just gluing them down, but I'm going to step up my adhesives. Because I'm gluing this onto something that has texture, because we made it that brick background, I am going to use Seal Plus. You could also use double-sided tape, but you want to use something a bit better than just liquid glue or regular seal. So let's see here. Okay. There we go. So having the bricks here helps for getting things straight, because you just follow the brick line. All right, now this one gets the Seal Plus as well. So I find sometimes if I don't just roll it quite right at the end, then I have to just use my finger to get it rolling. You see that twist at the end? That's really important. If you don't do that, it won't be primed for you for the next time. All right, let's see. That's a good way to do that. Top to bottom, side to side. Excellent. Okay, there we go. All right. So with that part done, we're now going to add our sentiment and our strawberries. And I have pre-stamped and cut my strawberries again, but again, I forgot to do the little trimming, so I'm just going to do that quickly right now. And I wanted to let you know that July 1st is coming quickly, and on the 1st of each month or thereabouts, but this year it should be the 1st because I'm on holidays, I send out my newsletter. My newsletter has all of Stampin' Up's upcoming sales for the month, has information about my own specials that I'm offering, has my upcoming classes, and all sorts of stuff. And July is action-packed, you guys. I'm going to let you guys know there's going to be sales from Stampin' Up. There's going to be some special events for me. I'm going to be doing my first Christmas card class. Just, you know, trying to get a head start while I have the time to get those Christmas cards done, so I'm not scrambling at the last minute. And there's some gorgeous sets in our annual catalog, so I'm going to be featuring those. And yeah, there's going to be a ton of information. I'm hoping I'm even going to have information soon about an upcoming stamp camp. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for all of that. And the best way to not miss any of that information is to sign up for my newsletter. So in the description of this video, there's a link to my link tree. is actually a great thing. You'll be able to find there a link to shop explicitly the last chance items, and then there's also a link there to sign up to receive my newsletter and all sorts of stuff. So definitely check that out and sign up for those things, because yeah, this is my time of year where I start to do all my planning, all my fun stuff, because I have the time. So exciting. All right, so those are going to get attached to our card, but before we do that, we need our sentiment, and we're going to step it up a notch. Oh, Valerie, you've already made your first Christmas card. Good for you. I've been planning and scheming in my head, but I haven't done anything yet. All right, so we're going to step up our label even a notch. We're going to use a black label with some white words. So this label I pre-cut using the Tasteful labels, and I think that's what they're called. Let me grab them. So these guys, yeah, Tasteful labels. Yeah, I got it right. So since all of our stitched circles and everything retired on us, I was really at a loss, and this is my new favorite label set. It's got some funky shapes. It's got a bunch of stitching. It has it all, and so really there's no sentiment that you have that won't fit in one of these, so it's kind of awesome. Really, really like those Tasteful labels. So I've grabbed my Tasteful labels. I'm going to use my same sentiment, so I'm going to have to give it a little clean here on my clean it up with my very dirty chamois. It actually just looks dirty. When you rinse it out, it actually runs pretty clear. It's recently washed. So we're going to grab that, clean that up, because I'm going to stamp it in Versamark. Now, this is a black label, and I've been handling it, so I'm going to be a bit of a cheater here, guys, and I'm going to grab my embossing buddy. This is unfortunately a retired product, but I believe you could use like cornstarch at home. Just put it into like a little cheesecloth bag, and it's like cornstarch, and basically I'm just rubbing it on there. It's taking away all the oils from my fingers so that my embossing powder isn't going to stick to everything I don't want it to stick to. It's just going to stick to my sentiment. Now I'm going to ink up my sentiment in Versamark. This is a clear ink, and it doesn't dry very quickly, which makes it perfect for embossing. So as best as I can, I'm going to get that on there straight. I don't think that was very straight. Okay, and now you can't see it, but it's there. And I'm going to pull in my very messy tray of white embossing powder and put that across there. Okay, tap off our extras. Well, that's looking good. Oops, I missed a few extras. So I like to tap off my extras back into my tray so I don't lose any. Makes this last really, really long. I've had that white embossing powder for ages, like over a decade, I would say. Because as long as you keep all the extra bits, it doesn't get used up very quickly, despite how much I actually emboss. I emboss an insane amount. Okay, so gotta plug in my heat tool, pull that out, and then carefully we're gonna hold this. Nothing like adding heat to a hot day. All right, there we go. We've got that embossed. Okay, let's bring that back down. Things are flying away. So we've got that embossed. We're going to attach this to our card using dimensionals. So I'm going to grab those, put those on the back. There we go. And I really want that centered actually on my pool party. Okay, then a dimensional on the back of my strawberry. And this time it's going to be far enough over I don't need to actually attach it to my label. and then a dimensional on my other strawberry. There we go. And now I'll give you guys a quick sneak peek here. Uh-oh, where did I put them? Well, oh, there they are. I was going to say, here are the Genial Gems, and so this is the jewel that you will get with a $60 order. So mine are all cut up. Here's a pack that's unopened. There we go. So you get a whole bunch of the green and gold, and then a whole bunch of the actual gold glittery gems. I love these things. I go through them like crazy. And we are going to kind of grab a mix here. There's some larger ones, and let's grab some smaller. Oh, those aren't smaller. Where are my smaller ones? There's some smaller ones. So we're going to grab a mix of large and small, and we're going to kind of just put these on our card, just kind of all over. So I'm going to pop one down here on the white, one up here on top of the pool party, and then maybe another one down here on our pool party at the bottom. All right, and so just adding in that little bit of bling to this card to step it up yet another notch. So let's just, for anybody joining late, let's just grab this here. We used our Sweet Strawberry stamp set with our punch, and then our Poppy Parade Granny Apple Green and Memento ink to create 3 cards. So there's our fanciest version. There is our slightly less fancy version. And actually I'll have to move this out of the way so that we can get all 3 of these in here. We've got our fanciest, our slightly less fancy, and then our very simple stamping beginner card. And so that is kind of our 1 card 3 ways, so that you can really see how you can start with your basic supplies and kind of add on and grow the kind of stamping that you're doing. So I love that, you know, I love these kinds of cards because it's quick on time. So if I need a card like now or yesterday, it's super easy. And then this is where my heart really lies, is getting in and getting detailed and making that special card for a special someone. But we've got all of it. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this, well, if you're in BC, on this smoking hot afternoon. I needed to get inside and get a break from the heat. So lucky for me, inside is that nice relief. So I hope wherever you are, you're enjoying the heat or beating the heat and getting a chance to stamp. I've got that host code here on my screen, and I'll put it into the description of this video as well. I realized I didn't put it in there. And you've got all the links in my link tree to go do some shopping before that last chance list is finished tomorrow night. So have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you next Tuesday. And I'm pretty sure I'll be back at 9 a.m. I don't think there's anything interrupting things anymore. All right. Bye, guys.